The motion before the House for the second semi-final reads, the media should report on the full horrors of war. Examples of the horrors of war include reporting on acts of graphic violence against civilians in the country being invaded, releasing disturbing and violent war footage, etc. Speaking in favor of the topic, we have Prathmesh from Mahila Samhiti College. Speaking against, we have Nandini from Bombay Scottish Pavai.
Good afternoon. Imagine that you are a US citizen in middle of a world war in 1945 and you suddenly hear that 2 bombs were dropped on Hiroshima and Nagasaki. You now feel extremely happy that your country is going to be a superpower as soon as the war ends. Now come to 1991. You turn on your TV and watch CNN. There, US and Iraq war is broadcasted. You see missiles dropping on hospitals and schools. Various children, people and workers. Now you get the flashback of the Hiroshima and Nagasaki bombing, where 110,000 civilians were killed, and here only about 1 to 2,000 civilians were killed. Normally, media won't show the full horrors of the war due to political interference, motto of the news channel, and the loss of TRP they will cause. But it has many major consequences, as people will not get enough information of the war to get on the specific support. Also, the news agency leads people to take the war lightly, as they always present war in a positive way. And if an argument arises that showing war footage is inappropriate for children and soft-hearted people, we can just show a disclaimer before the showing actual footage as a precaution, because it's important to make the people understand the intensity of the war. Now, I would like to put forth my 2 arguments. First, broadcasting the war footage makes people understand the gravity of the situation, and the second, it helps people in understanding the cause and exposing corrupt practices in the war. Showing first, broadcasting the war footage and understanding the gravity of the situation. Showing each and every situation of war is important for the people who live near the war zones, as if the war lines shift towards them, they will have to leave their apartments and go to another place. And the second is, people with their relatives and family participating in the war are worried and should be updated on every situation as the war goes. The common people will resist when they get to know the sacrifices and amount of resources that are exhausted in the terms of war. At last, it's the people who decides who is right and who is wrong, unless and until you are from North Korea or China. And the second point is, war footages help people to neatly understand the actual cause of the war. This also shows the transparency of government with the public. As mentioned in the earlier example, US wouldn't have never agreed to invade civilian areas if this footage was never recorded and broadcasted publicly. This footage can be also used for research purposes in the future as a part of history. At the end, I would like to say that if this footage does not show any sensitive content about the bases and other important information about the war, it is must and most preferably to show the ugly side of the war. Thank you.
The India-China clash. I'm sure that most of you have heard about 20 Indian soldiers getting martyred just last year in Ladakh due to a border conflict. They lost their lives in a fight with fists and nail-studded bats. Families of the soldiers were devastated by their sons, brothers, husbands' martyrdom. This is a very small example. Wars fought before, like the India-China War of 1962, India-Pakistan War of 1971, have been worse, with many more casualties and grief-stricken families. War has a catastrophic effect on everyone: soldiers who fight the war, their families, and also citizens of the country. Death as a result of wars is simply the tip of the iceberg. War destroys communities and families and often disrupts the development of social and economic fabric of nations. Its effects include long-term physical and psychological harm to children and adults, as well as substantial loss in material and human capital. Other consequences include poverty, malnutrition, disability, economic social decline, and mental illnesses. I am completely against the topic media should report on the full horrors of war. I have two key reasons for this. Firstly, war tends to be gruesome and has significant adverse psychological effect on people. Would you really like to see dead bodies with amputated limbs lying in a pool of blood as you eat your morning breakfast? Would you like to see innocent children flipping through news channels broadcasting gory war scenes? I don't think so. You might say that this is the truth, but would you really prefer truth over the mental well-being of future generations? In this context, the phrase is invalid because sometimes ignorance is bliss. War is too violent for people to watch. Soldiers themselves who take part in war are sometimes left with post-traumatic stress. Heavy exposure to violent media can engender violent behavior. Secondly, we have witnessed that violent images instigate humans with different emotions which can contradict the interests of the nation. People have different interpretations of such images. Media houses may publish such images with propaganda that doesn't serve the nation. During war, a country needs to be united, not divided. Any propaganda increases the risk of protests and violence on streets. A country which is already fighting a war may also have to fight a civil war. I firmly believe that war and its after effects should be as minimal as possible. If soldiers of two countries are fighting, this news itself is powerful enough to affect citizens' mental stability and well-being. War has broader ramifications, especially on poor people whose livelihood is dependent on regular economic activities. As a famous quote goes, when the rich wage war, it's the poor who die. To conclude, displaying gory details of war is a crime on citizens, especially the young and vulnerable sections of the society. Thank you.
I would like to ask a question that if it doesn't show the actual footage of the war, how will people come to know the actual intensity of the war that in this result is broken limbs and poked ties, which is not completely appropriate for children, but also they should know that this happens in war and this should be avoided as they grow bigger and bigger. So what would be your take on this?
If you're trying to say that making children watch war from a young age makes them tougher, instead of making them watch cartoons and lovely, beautiful Shin-chan and Doraemon, why don't we just make them watch gory war scenes to make them tough? People do not need to know the intensity of the war because, news channels, they already show what is the intensity. They don't show actual footage of, war happening because that wouldn't be practically possible because it causes harm to civilians and also soldiers. Would you really like to see that?
Firstly, showing this footage is not only up to children, it is also for adults. And if this footage makes soldier injured or any reporter injured, it is not so likely that the reporter who will be capturing will get injured, as it will perform very big backlash on the opposition country. Also, how would you make a person believe that what the news channel is saying is true? We have to provide people some actual footage of the war as a proof. How will you give that as a proof, as we have many news channels in this country that are very biased and will give favor to one country?
If you want people to know what actually happened in the war, instead of showing gory details of wars, you have seen some, reality TV shows which call some soldiers on them to interview them and ask them what they sacrificed and what they actually did for the country to make it win, or, to fight in a war actually seems like. So why can't they just do that? And what about people who are suffering with depression? Depression is very sensitive. Anything sensitive that might be shown might affect their mental health very adversely.
Thank you for that, Prathamesh. Nandini, would you like to ask your question now?
You said it in your speech that people will get to understand why the war actually happened, right? Am I correct?
Yes.
So why can't you just state what happened instead of showing why the war happened showing why the war happened, and why can't you just state that, why can't a person just tell that instead of showing why it happened? I mean, isn't it already visible on news that why a war takes place and what is the situation?
It is very important to show that why the war happened in the visual footage, because if we take this war for a research purpose in future, the news headlines will not be as much applicable as it is for the footages, which will give the actual knowledge to the historians in the future that what happened in the past and what can we do to prevent it.
Thank you, Pratmesh, for that debate. The question I have for you is twofold. So let's begin with this. Do you think that there are situations where war is either necessary or unavoidable?
Yes, there are very much situations that in which case the wars are necessary, because if aggression country shows aggressive behavior towards another country, the another country should not be afraid to show their power, as this will state to the another nations that the defending country is weak. That will lead to another nations that this country is weak and it can be invaded easily. Also, in the unavoidable situations, we should definitely think of getting rid of the war, because the people are harmed, the soldiers are injured in this case.
Got it. Thank you.
Hi, both of you. Congratulations again on making it here, and really good speeches and questions. My question is, our first question is for side opposition is as follows. Often the way that in the international community, states are able to hold each other accountable and demand for things such as money when their country has been destroyed is by showing proof of these horrors of wars. So for example, if there is a conflict going on and a country obviously that has been ruined by the conflict wants to ask the other country that's damaged them for things such as money or just for an acknowledgement that they have ruined their money, all of these things need proof. And the media broadcasting these horrors of war is the only way to obtain this proof. In the absence of this, how would you suggest that states are held accountable for their actions?
I completely agree with what you're trying to say, but I'm sure they can be photographed and the war can maybe recorded for confidential purposes. But what is the need of media showing this to the civilians of the country and letting them get weak? And as you said, they might get agitated, they might have feelings of anger. So what is the point of civilians being shown these videos and photographs?
Just a follow-up before I hand it over to Janveer. If you think about it, currently in society, we glorify soldiers a lot. We're like, sacrifice yourself for the nation, etc. I think a lot of these people who end up becoming soldiers, unfortunately, don't have the knowledge of what they're likely to go through in the army. And because these soldiers often are, obviously, before they become soldiers, they are civilians. These civilians do have the right to know what is going to happen if I enter into this war as a soldier. So in that case, do you not think it's the media's responsibility to report this?
If someone wants to become a soldier, it's completely up to how patriotic they are for their country, how they want to fight for their country. And once a person decides that they want to become a soldier, they are sent to army camps, right? So over there, they already are given situations, what they will do in what kind of situation. So honestly, I feel that they are mentally trained for what they're going to, what they're going to see and what they're going to go through.
Thank you so much. I'm going to hand it over to Janvi now.
Yeah. Hi, Nandini. I had a question for you as well, which is that do you think the media should only report positive news or good news because of how bad news might be perceived by the viewers and the audience and how that might affect them? Or does the media also have a responsibility to show negative things that are in fact the reality?
The media does need to show not only positive but even the negative news, because people need to know what's happening. But honestly, I don't get the point. What is the need to show war footage. I mean, don't people already know how intense a war is? There are more than, 3 lakh, 2 lakh casualties sometimes. And of course, people are dying in a war. What is the need to show the footage? I mean, can't they just state that what all is happening and just keep the war footage and photos confidential just to themselves?
Thank you.
Sorry, because I can't help myself, do have a question each as well. Nandini, you keep asking us why there is a need to show a picture rather than write text. If I said to you that the United States used napalm in the Vietnam War, I'm not quite sure you know what that meant for the people in Vietnam, but it was when a picture of a girl burning went live is when everyone understood the cruelty involved in using that weapon, and it was instrumental in both pulling the United States out of Vietnam, but also classifying napalm as a chemical warfare agent that we should not be using in war. If we didn't show that picture, it otherwise just feels like any other weapon or like a gun. In that situation, would you not agree that people need to see to understand what the truth is?
Of course, people do need to see to understand what the truth is. I completely agree with your point. But if they really want to know how bad napalm can actually affect a person, I mean, they can just do an experiment. Because, of course, if a chemical affects a human body, it will also have to affect something else, right? For example, if there is a dead, pigeon, which is in immense pain. So instead of just, making it suffer all the more, why can't you can perform, and if it can't be healed, if the pigeon can't be healed, you can perform the experiment on the pigeon to, know what napalm actually does to a person.
Okay, thank you for that. And just to end, because I know we've asked you a number of questions, Prathamesh, question for you. Showing the horrors of war shows the people who are being attacked at their worst, at their weakest, most unguarded moments where they cannot stop themselves from being filmed, as well as shows soldiers at their worst. Do you think that the families of dying people or hurt people should have the right to mourn their loved ones in peace and that they should have privacy?
The privacy of the family members becomes another part, as this is a war and every situation of the war should be reported to the government and the people of the country. And if the people know that how brutally they were killed and how aggressive is the nation that is attacking the people, we would let the people decide who is the main suspect for the war. And also, this would make people understand that how much sacrifices the soldiers do in real life than they hear or read in the books and the texts.
Unfortunately, there was a conflict on the panel because of which we couldn't come to a consensus. And in a 2-1 decision, the person that ultimately is going through is side proposition. Congratulations.